The purpose of this short video is to provide an overview of a new concept in Boat Records Manager with version 4.5. That new concept is a generic inventory item. A generic inventory item is a logical grouping of very similar inventory items for the purpose of providing a common tracking of those items and a common way to find them. An example would be I may have several different containers of motor oil on board. They may be in different locations, but I want to track the total quantity of motor oil that I have on board for the purpose of making sure I keep a minimum inventory. I can't do that with the normal inventory items because they'd be in different locations. By establishing a generic inventory item and attaching all my onboard containers of oil to that generic item, I can then track them all with one common inventory record. Now, to create a generic item, it must be done on the Enter Edit page. This is the only page that is allowed to generate a generic. That'll probably be modified in later versions, but right now, to keep it simple, we do that. The simplest way here is to click this Item is Generic button. Notice that creates a category of generic. Generic is a special system-defined category. This is the only way you can assign that category to an item. Now I want to do it for motor oil, so I'm going to then establish a subcategory of lubricant. For the description, it's motor oil 15W40. My units are going to be, I can find them, there it is, quart. That is one thing that's important. All the items within a generic group have to use the same units for obvious reasons. Okay, so now if you notice, by doing that as a generic, I cannot specify a location. Generics do not have a location. The items attached to them do. So now here down in the box it says items linked to this generic. I have nothing there yet. Well, let me first add this item. Okay, now I click the correct item so that I can go back and update it. So I click the Change button on that, and that calls up a new window. Manage Generic Inventory Items. Now what the form has done is it has, using the category of that generic as a lubricant, it has identified all the items in the inventory that are in that category. You notice I have two examples of 15W40 motor oil. They're in two different locations on board, so I want to add those to the generic. I'm not going to add the 2-cycle motor oil. That's obviously for a different purpose. Now that I've added it, I close it and I go back, and you can see now that the two Rotella T 15W40 engine oil containers have been added to the generic. I click the Update item, and we're done.